All right, welcome back everyone to the NXTZEN channel and us going over this Audi S8. We are in the washing stage, and the washing stage is like perhaps one of the most time-consuming, important steps you can take, whether you're a weekend warrior or whether you're doing this for a profession. You're got a shop or you're mobile. That doesn't really change anything. I've been doing this for a few years, so what I'm going to say to you might sound a little weird, but give it some thought. 60% of your detail, if you're detailing a car like we're going to do on this Audi, 60% of your detail is right here in this step, in the wash. The more thorough you can be in this step, the next step of actually, doing the detailing and stuff is going to be easier. Now, obviously that goes for the exterior portion of it, but the more thorough you're here, the less you have to do once it gets moved to the area where you're going to be doing the polishing and the coating and all that stuff. Much easier. Nothing's worse than getting it to that place, if you have a separate area for that, and then you're like, these wheels really aren't, and now I got to spend time cleaning these wheels again, or I didn't get the door jambs completely clean, and so on and so on. So remember that 60% of your detail is in the wash step. I'm going to give you just a little bit of a brief demonstration on the NXTZEN ZNR. This will be pretty soon NXTZEN's rinseless wash. I'm going to show you just what it can clean. Now, normally this car, it's pretty dirty. You're going to see it in a moment here. It's very dirty. It's got a lot. It's been raining here in Texas just like for days and days. So I'm going to show you just what you can possibly clean with this if you didn't have access to a hose or pressure washer. It can clean a lot, right? And it can be really dirty. We're also going to go over the iron decon, which will get a rename also. The NXTZEN foam decon, and a little bit of the super clean. Brushes. Your tools and stuff for this step are kind of vital. Wheel brush, all right? This is one used wheel brush. These are great brushes. They come in all shapes and sizes for getting the barrels of the wheels. And another brush, nice soft flagged brush. Great tire brush, right? And then these are great brushes for getting into maybe inside the wheel lugs. On these brushes, you want to have a dedicated wet and a dedicated dry. So one wet, one dry. The dry ones, I don't really ever get them wet. It's kind of the same rule for the interior. The interior, you want to have one that you will get wet and then one that you will keep dry. Exterior, same thing. So for the NXTZEN ZNR, I put about 2 gallons of water, maybe 1.5 gallons inside this bucket here. And got my trusty wash mitt, and I put maybe just a capful of ZNR inside here. It might be a little bit much, but this is just for demo purposes. I just want to show you what it can clean. So let's take a look at this paint. Okay, so here we have the hood, and it is pretty filthy. Lots of rain, dust, everything settled on it, dried. We've got some bird poo. Now this should get a pre-rinse and a pressure wash and traditional wash beyond that. But I'm going to do a ZNR demo just to show you what it can clean, what it's capable of cleaning. So the pros out there, and even a lot of the prosumers, the weekend warriors, they've got a specific regimen for their wash, and they kind of do it always the same. There are the guys that do a pre-soak. So they'll have some kind of solution, they put it in one of those pump sprayers, and they do a pre-soak, and they let it soak and emulsify the gunk. That would be probably a good first step on something like this, because it's pretty crusty. Then there are those that will do just your straight pressure wash, right? Get everything rinsed. I'm kind of in that camp because I'm an old fud. Pressure wash, just get it, and then you just start in your wash process. And then there's guys that will do a pre-soak, rinse, foam cannon, agitation maybe, and then rinse. You know, and if that gets the job done for them, good for them. All right, the NXTZEN ZNR, just what can it clean? Look at the hood. Obviously, most people would go to a traditional wash. They're gonna do maybe a pre-soak, they're gonna rinse that, they're gonna do a foam cannon, then a wash, and then rinse and dry. But if you don't have access to all that and you just need to get this clean, I'm gonna show you how I do it. We have about 2 gallons of water, a little less than a cap full of ZNR in there. The amount of dirt, grit, and grime or whatever on the surface that you want to clean with NXTZEN ZNR determines how you load your mitt. If it's clean, then you don't need a whole lot of moisture. If it's like this, you're going to want moisture. You're basically going to flood this panel with the ZNR. And I am not really applying any pressure. Turn it over. Let's do this side here. And because it was so filthy, rinse, load the mitt back up, and I'm going to do a second pass. If need be, I could do the entire car with this and not break out a pressure washer. I've done it before. Towel, same thing. The towel is just going to absorb the moisture. I am not applying any pressure. There's a lot of grit and contaminant on this car here, and you can tell that it's had a little bit of a life in the elements. I'm also going to dry it, or wash it and dry it in the same direction. So there you have it. Quick demo of just how dirty and disgusting a vehicle can be and still use the NXTZEN ZNR. All right, we are back and we're ready to do the wash step on this thing. We are gonna just do a pre-rinse with the pressure washer, but the first thing we're gonna do is wheels and tires. Now these wheels are a wreck, and I would most likely opt to use acid. Wheel acid is a great tool to have. It can also be very, very dangerous. So make sure that you glove up. A lot of people like to wear a respirator mask when they use it. So if you're gonna use it wisely and be safe with it. Pretty nasty, right? European brakes they shed a ton of brake dust, and this one has not been cleaned in a good long while. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this in 2 stages. I'm gonna show you how to clean the wheel. And then once we get it to the area where we're gonna detail it, I'm gonna show you what a detail of the wheel would look like. Now a lot of people will hit this first with a pressure washer. I don't do it that way. I'm a little bit different. I like to spray my cleaner on it on a dry wheel. That way the water is not diluting my cleaning product. Typically I would start on the inner wheel well and do a cleaning of that. But because this is so dirty and stuff, and I just want to concentrate on the wheel and the tire, then the wheel well, I'm going to do it a little bit backwards. If it's clean, if it's a wheel that's been coated, and this is just a maintenance thing, all you need is soap and water. That's it. So this is our super clean mixed up here for the guys. Tire. I'm just going to spray it on the tire. Once again, I do not pre-wet. Now, while that's doing its thing, I'm going to take the NXTZEN, the iron decon, and I'm going to start spraying it in the barrel of the wheel. Now, wheel acid would cut your job down by quite a bit, right? You wouldn't need to scrub as much. But it is caustic stuff. So one, you have to be careful health-wise, and two, you got to be careful material-wise, what you're putting it on. Yeah, it's got a bad smell. Kind of like your Uncle Earl after eating a bowl of hard-boiled eggs and then downing it with chocolate milk. Nobody wants to be around him 20 minutes later. All right, so we're gonna let that sit. I'm gonna do the barrel of the wheel first with my trusty cleaner here. Now, when you do wheels, you are gonna get dirty with the splashback. So for the tires, I'm gonna go once more on the tire. Tire brush. I like to start on this inner lip first. So then I would take the iron decon for the outside. Now, if you are a mobile detailer, you may not have temperature control wash bay. All right, obviously, since you're mobile. This might be a different process then for you. You might have to do section by section. Do the barrel, rinse. Do the tire, rinse. Do the wheel, rinse, so on and so on. Just because the heat, wind can start to dry this stuff out quicker than you can clean it and remove it. But look at that sucker bleeding. Then we're gonna do the face of the wheel. As to be expected, a wheel this bad is gonna have some schmutz left over. So we're gonna spray it one more time. Starts to bleed again, and we're just gonna take care of those little areas. So I'm gonna give this just a quick pressure wash down. Probably not gonna do any agitation to it. Then we're gonna start on the body of the paint. The other wheels and the tires, I'm gonna just do separately because you already see me do one. All right, everyone, I'm practicing proper trigger control. See that? Got my pressure washer, all right? Got my suds. The thing about suds, there's actually no cleaning property at all in these suds. There's kind of a byproduct. They look really, really cool. Foam cannon. Foam cannons are great, they're cool, they look really, really neat. A lot of guys will foam cannon this the first thing, but what you want to do first is give it a rinse, because water is like nature's solvent. Put as much water on the surface as you possibly can, or your HOA allows you. I'm going to work from the top down, kind of like from the front to the back. If you have a driveway, it works great because cars are kind of designed to shed water from the front to the rear. So if you can get a little higher on the nose, perfect. We're gonna do the door jambs. We've kind of already done the wheels and the tires and the wheel wells, and we're gonna clean out the trunk sills, the door sills. We've already done the engine. Now, I'm gonna do a clay on this vehicle also once it's all washed. Clay comes in different shapes, forms, and sizes. You've got the clay towels, you've got the traditional old school clay bars. You know, they're all slightly abrasive. I know there are some new ones out that claim non-abrasive. I've never used them, so I can't speak to that. But I do know that clay is basically an abrasive product, and that's how it does what it does. So let's get started on this. Now in the wash step, you can use traditional sponges, right? The microfiber type wash mitts. Those work fine. Old school sponges. I don't really care for like your kitchen type sponges because they just never fully release all the suds. It just takes forever for it to get out of there. Something like this, I prefer, even after I've done like a full polishing, like a paint correction kind of thing, and I want to give the car a rinse, I almost always opt for just a regular microfiber towel. So once again, soapy towel. Works great for getting in to the nooks and the crannies in this washing process. So washing the sides of the vehicles, I will typically wash the top and go right about halfway. I'll do this around the whole car. I'll go halfway around the whole car like this. Then I will come back and I'll do the bottom half. Reason being is in the bottom half is where all the grit and the grime live. So I want to clean up the top, work my way to right about here, all the way around, and then start on the rest of it. This is important. Remember, 60% of your detail is in the wash. That one little tip right there will save you guys tons of time, headache, and heartache. All right, so this back area here on all cars, this is the brunt of everything. Not only right along with the front end gets, you know, the bugs and all that stuff. The back end of the car is what gets just all the pollution and the crud. You have the exhaust, you just have everything that gets spit up from the road, and it gets back here and it sticks. And oh look, we got a tree growing back here. You guys see that? So you remove the plate. If you want to, you can even remove this backing piece right here. Just gives you a little bit better access. But when the plate's on here, it completely covers it. In the detailing phase of it, I may remove this. I'm sure it's pretty nasty back there. I just don't have a star tool with me at the moment. So there's something that I really like to do and use back here after it's rinsed. To rinse. So look at the paint. We have runoff here with the water, but this is, the water's just sticking. There's like no surface tension whatsoever here. It's just contaminated and filled with junk. So I'm gonna give this an iron decon back here. All of this right here, we're gonna let it sit and then we're gonna clean it really well. The one area a lot of detailers forget is right under here. This is a really, really nasty area, and a lot of detailers just kind of wipe it down and they don't detail it and clean it. When your client or your customer, you know, they go to open it, it's all really, really nice. And then all this right here sticks out like a really horrible, ugly sore thumb. And we have a collection of June bugs in here. And who knows what else we might have in there. But, all right, let's get to cleaning this. The NXTZEN Iron Decon works really good in the emblems. We're gonna spray it up underneath here. Right here. Now, if you're very, very adventurous, you would remove these and remove this. You can replace it. Obviously, everybody wants this one replaced. Not everyone may want that one replaced. We're gonna let this dwell, come back and give it a good scrub. I'm gonna start at the top here, start working my way down. Paint is really gritty. Wet brush, dry brush, perfect place for the wet brush. Get all up in those little nooks and crannies. Right now is also a great chance and opportunity to clean the underside of this and then the rain channel or the water channels. Now, this is when I like to use the foam cannon because I'm going to clay the car. And we're going to be using the NXTZEN heavy duty clay. So I'm going to foam this car down. I'm going to just start with the top sections. I'm going to get them clayed. I'm going to rinse and continue on. You'll know that the clay is working. It's doing its job when it releases. So if I'm going over here, I can feel the grit. I can feel it and hear it. Now it's released, right? So the clay did its job. It did what it's supposed to do. You can also clay over the glass. Way back in when clay first came out, in the detailing forums, guys would talk about using clay to brighten their paintwork and basically polish their car. Really, all it was doing was just making it really smooth. So they felt it, and they thought, oh, it's so smooth. It's really nicely polished. Well, clay, by its very nature, is somewhat abrasive, right? There's different materials that they put inside the clay to make it abrasive. I've heard of clay using crushed walnut to really, really fine, silica sand, other materials like that. And it gets dispersed inside this clay-like material. And now we have these clay towels, and I'm sure there's something else waiting in the wings. You know, I thought there was an ending to that, which I did film, but I go to edit and it's gone, missing cyberspace somewhere. So I do apologize for that. But that was our washing step, or the washing stage. And the most important thing to that is if you're going to detail it, if you're going to detail your car, whether you're a professional or whether you're a weekend warrior, 60%, remember that, 60% of your detail is right there in the washing step or the washing stage. The more thorough you are in that step, the easier the detailing part's going to be, because really all that's left is, you know, the polishing and the application of the coating. Yeah, obviously there's the interior and stuff, but 60% of your detail is in the wash. So do you like how it's going so far? I hope so. I hope you're finding some of the information helpful. If so, please leave us a comment, give us a like, a subscribe. We're going to now continue on with the polishing, the wheels, all that really fine detail stuff. Going to be awesome. Please join us. Thank you very much. Y'all take care.